What's up, guys? Welcome back to AKA Rakxm. I'm Rakxm. I'm going to be reviewing a new trailer that just dropped today for Avengers Endgame. For those of you who didn't see Infinity War when that movie came out, well, Thanos won. He did the whole... shit. Babe, don't sell my comics when I'm gone.
Don't tell me I live my life.
Okay, I love you too. Hey guys, so this is going to be a lot to process in this video. So while Marvel didn't give us a whole lot of action sequences or anything, they did give us a lot of information. I'm going to start off right now by saying, spoiler alert, if you have not watched this trailer or you are actively avoiding watching this trailer, end the video now and go watch something else. I don't want to ruin anything for those of you that are, the purists that want to make sure that you see the movie for the first time, and that's where you get your information from. So without further ado, here we go. Avengers Endgame. First and foremost, I want to say I love that they chose the name Endgame for this film. Annihilation was a great title, however, it already belonged to a major story arc in Marvel Comics, and that deserves to be used for that story arc. First thing we see is Tony Stark sitting all by himself in this spaceship that I have no idea how he got up and flying. I'm hoping that Nebula helped him. Also, where is Nebula? Why is she not with Tony flying through space? Tony is stranded. There is 100% chance that Tony Stark is not going to even make it back to Earth, let alone survive the trip. He mentions that he has been 4 days without food or water, and I don't know about you guys, but I can barely make it 4 or 5 minutes without food. So he's in a rough patch. He's going to run out of oxygen within a day, and the Iron Man suit is just, it's trashed. I mean, Thanos tore his suit apart. There was bits and pieces that were there when the Infinity War ended, but like it is a helmet now and not even a completed one. He uses his last little bit of energy to leave a message for Pepper on the off chance that she ever sees the helmet and is able to find the message. And that really that hits home because, he's grieving for the fact that he'll never get home to be with his wife or fiancé. Their wedding hasn't even happened yet. But Nebula, meanwhile, is off doing her thing, grieving for her lost loved ones. She wasn't really ever a part of the Guardians of the Galaxy, but they were still family to her. Gamora was her sister, and she never really liked the Guardians, but she respected them enough to help them in a lot of ways. Meanwhile, Thanos is on his home planet, or new home planet, I guess, and he is tending to his garden. He's got his armor up as a scarecrow. He's not going to be putting that armor back on because he has no reason to. He has accomplished his goal. He has balanced out the universe. And as Natasha says, he has killed 50% of all living creatures. And that includes mankind, all forms of alien kind, and, dogs, cats, mice, cockroaches. 50% of the cockroaches in the world have been killed off. And that's everything that's great in the world. So next we see Steve Rogers, and while he looks clean-shaven and put together, if you look into his eyes, you can see the amount of pain that he is in. He's talking about they have lost everything. They have lost everyone. It has been a hell of a time since the snap, and we saw Nick Fury, who basically started the MCU. If it weren't for him, there would have been no connection to anything. And, he's now just coping with that. We see briefly Bruce Banner is looking at a few of the deceased that are no longer with us, and we see a flash of Peter Parker's face. We also see Scott Lang. And now, unlike Peter, Scott does not fade away. Scott is there. His image is right there. They are assuming that he is among those that died in the snap. And as hard as it is to accept, people that you've known for a long time that came up with you as a hero, having those that were newer heroes that were just introduced to you that you were helping to train is even harder to watch and know that they're gone. We then see that Natasha is following a man who is carrying a badass sword. Like, that is one of those swords and the blades that have the holes in it to make sure you don't get any meat stuck on it, like it falls right off. That's a badass sword. And we are reintroduced to Clint, who is known as Hawkeye. For this movie, he will be known as Ronin. Now, he takes off his mask, and guys, he looks like shit. Like, he is in a bad place, and I don't know, but I feel like there's a very good chance that he lost his entire family. His wife, his 2 kids, and probably the 3rd newborn child. But I guess we'll have to wait and see what exactly happens with Clint, because, like I said, he's not in a good place, like, just from looking at the guy. We go back to the Avengers HQ, and we see Steve looking at his compass. The compass that he's had since World War II still has that picture of Peggy taped to the front of it. And in my mind, when I first saw this, it was a very sweet moment to me. He looks to Peggy still after all these years for hope. Then I saw a post from Instagram user vigilante_DCEU that says, the last time Steve looked at Peggy like this, he died. And to me, that speaks volumes to the fact that Steve has accepted that he isn't going to survive this time. He's accepting his fate and knows that he's going to do more good for the world by sacrificing his life for the many. And he's one of those guys that he wanted to make sure that everybody survived during Infinity War. He wouldn't even let Vision give up a part of himself to stop Thanos, but instead chose to go and fight against a guy that he knew he had no chance against. And he's accepting that he's going to be doing that again. And this time, there isn't going to be some miraculous save that he doesn't disappear for. And he delivers the most heartbreaking line. Him and Natasha are sitting there, and Natasha says to Steve, she says, "This is going to work." And Steve's response of, "I know, because if it doesn't, I don't know what I'm going to do," is just, it's powerful, because Steve Rogers, he might be one of the strongest humans alive, but he knows that he has his own limitations, and he knows that despite those limitations, he still has to find a way to fix what went wrong and to make sure that everybody else comes home, or he's not going to be able to physically or, emotionally stand it. The final big reveal for the Avengers title, we see what looks to be an A crumbling to pieces. And as we pan out and watch the Avengers Endgame logo pops up, we actually see that the A is rebuilding itself, which is very symbolic of the fact that despite everything falling to shit in the last movie, everything is building back up to the status quo. Like, they're repairing themselves and bringing back those that they couldn't save last time. And that is a really cool, nod to the fact that that's what this whole movie is about, is bringing back that which has been broken. And then, of course, we finish off the entire trailer with Scott Lang showing up at the Avengers HQ. Again, remember, they thought he was dead. And we were left with a cliffhanger of him in the quantum realm at the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp. He was left behind when Hope and Hank and Janet just turned to dust. And he somehow found a way to get out of the quantum realm. My wife and I have been discussing this. I think he did it the same way he did in the first Ant-Man movie. She's not so convinced, but I'm excited to see how he did it, and I would love to see what you guys have to say about that. So how do you guys think that Scott Lang got out of the quantum realm? Leave a comment below, and I can discuss it in more depth as time goes by. But that is all I have for this trailer, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time with another Rakxm Reviews. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit the subscription button, and hit the bell so you guys can get notifications every time I put out new content. And stay frosty, guys.
Hey babe, can you do the dishes? Don't ignore me. Babe. You motherfucker.